Angel readings. I'm going to start with our opening prayer. Remember that I'm on the Restream platform, so please pop your questions underneath with your name unless you clicked accept, and then I'll be able to see you. Oh, Great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives, and we thank you for these good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen, Namaste. Okay, so I'm getting told to pull an angel card for us. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use the Saints and Angels cards. See what the angels have to say for us today. Feel free to pop your questions underneath and off we go. Oh, this needs a bit of a clear. That's better. Let's see what the angels have to say. Oh, triumphant. Triumphant is your card for today. It's believing that you can do it, believing that you can succeed, believing that the work that you're putting in is worth it. Because one of the things that creeps up on all of us when we're actually in the middle of the workout, when we're actually in the middle of the launch, when we're actually in the middle of the relationship or the pregnancy or the journey to health or to wealth, right? As we go, can I really do this? Is this really going to work? Am I going to succeed? And those doubts have a way of making us slow down, go off course, particularly when we're tired, right? We start to block our good because we're tired. We're like, we're too tired to do one more phone call. We're too tired to do one more reading. We're too tired to do one more social media post. And it's one of the things that I learned a long time ago is that it's always, the success is always in the little extra things that you do. It's in the doing 50 squats and then doing 55 instead of doing 50. It's in the running 5 miles and then doing an extra 50 meters. It's in that little bit where you get to your comfort zone and you push yourself just a little bit further than your comfort zone, because you're training your mind and you're training your body to always go beyond your comfort zone, and also to really understand that your comfort zone changes, right? My comfort zone used to be making, £5 or £10 for a reading or for a healing. And now my comfort zone is, making thousands, but it's still a comfort zone. So you still have to tweak it and push it. And it's the same thing. My comfort zone might be doing 100 squats, but I need to go to 150 or 200, right? Or I need to increase the weight. So it's always about how are you expanding, not contracting inside your life. Okay. Triumphant, guys. That's our word for today. Triumphant. Let's do our questions. They're flooding in now. Okay. Jupiter's here. Hello, lovely. Okay. Dear Sky, how can I move to a leadership position? I feel ready and I don't understand my blockages. Thanks, Gabriella. Okay. So it's an identity shift from receiving to giving. So when you're an employee or you're a follower, you are receiving content, receiving guidance, receiving love, receiving your paycheck. And you work within a whole structure. For example, if you work in a company where your boss takes care of payroll, takes care of staff rules, takes care of HR, takes care of contracts, takes care of the systems in place so that the whole company can work. And you are an employee inside that much bigger machine, right? The leader is in charge of giving all of that to everyone that works for them and providing a high-end service to their customers. So you have to switch from receiving to giving. It's the same thing when you're being a parent. You switch from being the receiver to being the giver. You are giving the swimming lessons, you are giving the birthday parties, you are giving the clothing, you are giving the food, you are giving the education. So when you shift from being a follower to being a leader, or from being a team member to being a leader, the capacity to give has to increase, and so does the capacity to handle pressure and responsibility, because people come to you asking you for more than you've ever been asked for before. They expect you to have things figured out, and they expect you to solve problems. All right. That's what happens when you go into a position of leadership, is that everybody comes to you with their issues and it's your job to sort it out. And that might be by delegating, that might be with a system or a structure, that might be with, an uplifting conversation. But this is the side of leadership that we don't discuss and that we don't see, is that it's a much higher level of giving, right? A much higher level than giving, and a much higher level of problem solving, because somebody might be dealing with 50 or 60 problems a day in their ordinary job, but when they get stuck, they come to you and expect you to solve their biggest problem. It's the same thing with a client. They might be dealing with 50 to 100 problems, but they'll come to you with the biggest one and be like, solve it for me. All right, I'm stuck here, solve it for me. So to shift into leadership, you have to be okay, let's do it, slow it down. To shift into leadership, you have to become very comfortable and very confident solving problems and staying calm under pressure, not getting sucked into drama or sucked into noise, and also get very focused on solutions. Now, most people believe that they fail because they don't know what to do and they don't plan properly. I would say that's probably why about 10% of people fail. The reality is most people fail because they don't know how to take action. They don't know how to execute. And whenever I'm reading the project management books and the problem solving groups, it's exactly what all the research shows, is that actually action is way harder than knowing. Most people do know what to do, just like they know how to go to the gym and they know how to eat healthy. But the actual implementation, right? The actual, how am I going to meal prep? When am I going to take my supplements? The setting the alarms on your phone, there's the difference between people that fail or succeed. And it's the same thing with leadership. So in order to be perceived as a leader from a social media perspective, you have to teach. So you have to shift into being that teacher perspective. You have to build trust and show people that you can get them results. You can take them from A to B consistently, which means you have to show up consistently. And you have to talk about how it's worked in your life, because that shows authenticity, alignment, and movement. And if you look at the success that I've had in my life, it didn't happen overnight. I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. I'm now 33. So that level of relationship, that's showing up on a consistent basis, can really trigger some people, but it also really builds trust with the correct people. Right? So whenever you're dealing with leadership blocks, you need to look at what's your fear of giving. And it's really obvious, right? Overwhelm, burnout, don't like pressure, get angry or resentful when I have to give more than I planned on giving, give up easily instead of solving problems. I give up after the first I might give up after the first 10 to 20 phone calls, for example, whereas the average person gives up after one. And you can see the difference in results, because if you look at any kind of marketing, any kind of sales, any kind of healing, you're normally looking at least 7 phone calls, right? So if people are giving up after the first one, they're not getting where they're supposed to go. So where are the blocks? Leadership: giving up too soon, resenting giving, right? Self-pity instead of adaptation and problem solving. And consistency in showing up, consistency in visibility, consistency in strategy. That is the difference between a leader and a team member. And you have to understand, right? This is super important for you to really understand deep in your heart. There is a season for both. There's a season for both. I became a leader because God put me next to some kick-ass leaders, right? My husband was a spiritual teacher who was an entrepreneur, and I was watching him and how he did what he did and how he moved just by being in a relationship with him, working for Burjon and one of the biggest theta healing companies in Europe, and watching how Anna moved and how she led and what she did. So being a part of people's teams, right? Especially when I'm going to Dubai and working illuminations, being a part of people's teams and a valuable part of people's teams, and being aware of just how much the leaders were giving in those spaces and how much I had to grow to be able to give that, right? Was a big catapult for me being ready, because I had the practice of delivering, executing, representing somebody else's reputation, somebody else's brand, where my mistakes, were a reflection on somebody else's character, right? Because when you work for a company, People don't just take your actions as your actions. They take your actions as a reflection of the company and of the brand. So, when I was working at Burgeon, if I made a mistake with a client, or if I was late, or if I was sick, that was a reflection on the brand. If when I was working for my husband, it was the same, with his astral projection workshop. So you start to understand the generosity of spirit, where somebody extends to you a name or a brand or a position where their blessing, right, is giving you an opportunity and putting you in a position to excel. So you start to understand the level of responsibility required. And you also see people giving beyond anything you thought was possible. I would watch my husband prepare for a workshop, launch a workshop, do the marketing, spend time talking and communicating and loving the people who were coming, and he would be tired before we even got on a plane to go to whatever country it was we were running the retreat. And then I saw him get up and serve at the highest level imaginable, no matter how tired he was. And then after he finished teaching, he was still not just answering questions, but taking the time to seek people out and have conversations in the workshops and nurture them and love them. And after giving for almost three weeks or 3 months to fill this workshop, he would take probably 3 or 4 days to fill himself up, right? But I got to see this incredible level of generosity in him, in Anna, in Vanya, in the spiritual teachers that I was following. I saw Marion Williamson sit there for days signing books and having conversations with people, right? So you start to see the level of giving required and ask yourself if you're really prepared for that. And that's the digging that you do, like where you resent it, where you get triggered by the giving, where you get triggered by the responsibility. Like, why is it my job and not everybody else's? Because that's what being a boss is. Even if it's somebody else's mistake, it's your responsibility. Loyalty. There's a lot of people that just throw not just their employees, but their team members out onto the street the moment they make a mistake. And that's not the way I run my business. I run my business with a deep respect for the people that work here, even if I don't like them, even if they did something that I really don't agree with. I will not publicly humiliate them. I will not use my power to harm them. I will not destroy their reputation. That's not who I am. A lot of people do it that way. So these are the areas you have to look at in leadership, right? You have to get very comfortable with people misunderstanding you, with them being triggered by you, because who likes their boss, right? So I have a very good relationship with my team. I really do. I'm really blessed in that way, but it's because I have hard conversations with them in a loving way. And that's a skill, right? So when you're asking, where am I blocked with leadership? Look at resenting giving, look at not liking pressure, look at the places where you run away from responsibility, because you're not just going to be responsible for you, you're going to be responsible for the whole team. And making sure things get done on time and everything else, including salaries and systems and money. That's where I would look at, because most people want to lead, but they don't want the responsibility of leadership. And that's where they get blocked, right? Okay. Hi, Sky. I've noticed that there's a rising anger I have. I don't understand where it's coming from. Firstly, I thought I'm tired. Then at my dad. Can you help release it, please? Thank you. Okay, we're going to call on Archangel Michael. Everyone that's got hidden anger, can we just give it to Archangel Michael now? Ooh, there's a lot of it coming out of heart chakra. There's really sticky black stuff. You just keep handing it up. Breathe. Tiredness is often anger. Tiredness is often hidden anger. You can muscle test that for me. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. My tiredness is hidden anger, right? My tiredness is hidden sadness. My tiredness is hidden embarrassment. But very often, tiredness is our way of saying no when we can't verbalize no, or we think it would lead to more conflict. Okay. Dear Sky, how could I resolve my relationship with my daughter, please? We've done so much healing and it's still so difficult. Thank you. Okay, let me have a look. Okay, so I'm getting Archangel Shamuel coming in super strong here, and he's saying to me that you've gotten stuck in a fixing each other paradigm before you can love each other, and it's the other way around. That you have to be willing to give love first. So, one of the things that I do, which might sound very fluffy, but it's so powerful, is I will literally sit down and I will ask, I will imagine someone in front of me and I will go into like that divine heart space and I will say, Creator, what does this person need to feel safe? What does this person need to feel loved? And then I will be given a feeling or a message or a sign. So sometimes Creator says this person needs respect. This person needs validation. This person needs importance. This person needs significance. This person needs kindness. This person needs comfort. This person needs. So it's in putting yourself in that place of actually asking Creator what this person needs for this relationship to repair, and then sending them the vibration. So sending them the vibration of respect, or sending them the energy of respect, the energy of comfort, the energy of being important, the energy of being valued, so they can actually feel that coming from you, right? And coming through Creator, instead of giving them what you think they need or what they think they need. I just go straight to the chief operating officer. I go straight to God and I'm like, what does this person need? And then I will send them that energy to help resolve conflicts. I think your daughter, like what I'm really hearing is that she needs to be seen as a valuable member of the family, as competent, and to really just be accepted the way that she is. Very often, what someone is asking us for is what we're refusing to give ourselves, right? So, very often, the way that we have high standards, the way that we hold ourselves to becoming who we're supposed to become, is through withholding acceptance, is through withholding rest, is through withholding love. Okay. And that is really tough. So, let's just release that for a moment and ask Archangel Raphael to come in. Just dissolve this power struggle. So, one of the other important things to understand when somebody is accusing you of being the source of their pain, which people do because we don't like responsibility, right? Is that it doesn't matter what anybody says. The bottom line is, even if you cause them pain, you can't fix it, right? The only thing that fixes them is them deciding to let it go. All parents make mistakes. All people make mistakes, point blank. All children make mistakes, right? It's not just parents that screw up. Kids really hurt their parents. So it's understanding that mercy is an important quality, and that whenever our ego is going, oh, they hurt me more than I could possibly ever have hurt them, it's lying. People only hurt to the extent that they have been hurt, right? They had to learn how to hurt somewhere. And it's getting into that point where you're giving what you want to receive first. You're not waiting until the person's finished healing. You're not waiting until you can trust them. You're not waiting for a million reasons, because the moment you're waiting to give love, you're blocking the healing, right? And I notice I said love, not trust. They're very different vibrations. So never stop giving love. No matter how insane the person is, the love has to keep flowing. But trust and boundaries are a different thing. So can we show you that it's safe for you to start sending love every single day, to start sending trust and respect and validation and the law of truth? Okay, that's looking a lot better. Hi, beautiful. I wanted to know what's my blocks to financial freedom? Any recommendations? Okay, angels, show me. I'm bringing in the success angels. What's going on? Okay, this is 100%. This is 100% a visibility block and a receiving block. So creator's showing me that you are not even getting to the point where you are making the sale. So one of the things I've had to repeat so much with not just post discovery calls, but in DMs is that you have to tell people exactly what you do, exactly how much it is, and exactly how you can help them every single time you write a post. Every single time, okay? Not just once a week, not just when you're doing a launch, every single time. And one of the things that people will avoid is even putting a call to action at the end. They will write this incredible post and then they miss out the how they can help people and the talk to me or DM me or message me or they just it's just there. It's like this incredible post. It's like a boom of a like the what they're teaching packs intelligence and energy and love and impact, and then they get scared of rejection and then it's just flat. So with a post, you want to write something that, especially with a teaching post, which is what I see the majority of you doing, you want to write the teachings. You want to include your story. Okay. Nobody cares if you wrote a Hallmark card. Nobody wants something pink and fluffy. They want to know you. So if you're going to talk about, quantum physics, or you're going to talk about instant healings, or you're going to talk about a client, don't say I had a client. Describe it. Use words that make a person be where you are and see what you're seeing. If your client went from sobbing to laughing, I need to know that from reading your post. If your client went from infertile to holding a baby, I need to know that from reading your post, right? And at the end, it needs to have that, this is how I work, this is how it helps you. I want to connect, right? Because people are so scared of rejection. You want to know how scared of rejection people are? Go into an ice cream shop. There's little ice cream tasting spoons, right? People are terrified of choosing the wrong flavor of ice cream. That's how scared they are of making the wrong choice, right? There's tiny little ice cream flavored spoons so they don't walk out disappointed with the flavor of ice cream that they chose. That's how terrified they are of being disappointed, right? After working through a session or working through an issue. So unless you actively say to them, I want to talk, I'm not going to reject you, I am here to connect with you. It takes them from looking at a post 7 times to maybe looking at a post 3 times before they reach out. You have to tell them what to do. Tell them how to connect with you. Tell them what to do. And it's no different than a friendship. How many times when you give a new friend your number, do you have to say, call me, right? Call me. I am here. Because the person's first instinct, even in friendship, is to be like, I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to, what's it called? Be a burden. I don't want to risk sharing my vulnerable parts with this person in case they treat me badly. So, but you have to understand that you see it from your perspective, right? Which is I don't want to talk about what I do. I'm going to come across as like sleazy or salesy. But from a client's perspective, if you don't talk about what you do, they don't know what you do. If you don't talk about how you can help, they don't know that you can help. So you have to basically make it a habit that every single time you write a post, whether you feel like it or not, whether you want to or not, you put how you can help, right? Specifically, not fluffy, I can get to the bottom of your issues. Specifically, how can you help, right? I can clear toxic beliefs. I can remove destructive emotions. I can get to the root cause of your blocks, right? I did it for myself. I did it for this client. Isn't it time that I did it for you? But you need to have that conversation with them, and you have to think of it as a conversation instead of as a post. Think of it as love letters to your chosen people, because that's what it is. It's God writing love letters through you, reminding them that they are more than this, reminding them that they are his greatness manifest, reminding them that they can get help, that there is a way forward, right? And for the people that resonate with your love letters, it is you that are the key for their lock. And it's understanding that there are, that there are different people need different vibrations so that things hit and have different impact in a different way. Okay, so first one was definitely fear of visibility, and then the other one was fear of rejection. So we didn't address fear of visibility. So showing up, gosh, especially with how much judgment there is on social media, if you let that little voice in your head go crazy, it'll start telling you need the makeup and you need the hair colors, and you don't. You do need basic hygiene, right? And a clean jumper and a washed face, but you need to be you. And when you show up in your post, it's the same thing. This is why I'm saying so many healers' posts that I see are just fluffy, generic posts. What do I mean by that? I mean, there's absolutely nothing of their story. There's nothing of them. There's not even a picture of them. So it's normally like some kind of a picture of some kind of a star, or a healing angel, or a woman, meditating, but there's nothing of them because they're so scared of putting themselves out there, right? They're so scared of rejection. And you need to start posting with pictures of you. They don't have to be, what I said, like magazine quality pictures, but they do need to be pictures of you going about your daily life so that a person can feel your vibration. They can feel you, because when it's online world, they're not in the room. When I'm teaching theta, or even if I attend a class, one of the ways which God used to work with me when I was especially going to Montana or going to do NLP or going to do whatever kind of training it was at the time, was that people watch you when you're in a room with them. They watch how you speak to other people. They watch how you do your sessions and swaps. Word of mouth spreads because you get results for people. And then they're like, oh, I want to have a session with you. And what I would find was very quickly, before I'd even left a training event, I would have people not just wanting to work with me, but wanting to be clients. Now, when you work online, unless you are doing client interviews, doing what's it called, live healing demonstrations, they don't have a chance to see how you move, to see how you talk. And that's a very important thing. Humans are still hardwired to unconsciously assess you through your body language. That is 80 odd % of your communication is nonverbal, right? So it's really important that the bare minimum is pictures, and then ideally you want to be starting to do teaching videos and so that people can really start to connect. And people will regularly say to me all the time, I've watched all your videos. I've been through your whole YouTube. I've been through your whole TikTok. I've been through your whole Instagram. I've been through all your angel readings. I've been watching you for years, right? And different people have different requirements for building trust. So this is what Gabrielle asked me at the beginning: how do you switch from team to leader, or how do you switch from follower to leader? And the answer is you start thinking about what other people need instead of thinking about how bad it makes you feel that you have to show up every day. You start thinking that other people have different rules for trust. Some people trust after a week, but some people, it takes them years. They've been through so much. They've been hurt so deeply. They have many, many other things going on in their busy lives, right? And you have to think about, how do I get them to really trust me? Because if they don't trust me, how are they ever going to trust God? How are they ever going to trust their intuition? They need a bridge. They need one person they can trust. How do you create that for them? And that's what all of these weird marketing gimmicks are trained towards. But the bottom line is simple. The bottom line, trust is simple. It's built day by day. It's built with regular and consistent connection. It's built with aligned behaviors and teachings. And it's built in time and love spent and given, right? So when you think about where's the finances blocked, if you block visibility, no one knows where you are, nobody can see you. And if you block sales, nobody knows what you offer. So even if I have some clients that were sitting on not $1 million companies, but were sitting on $1 billion companies. They had followings of like over 100,000 people or 200,000 people that they had simply not monetized because they were too afraid of rejection. right? So you can have a huge Insta following or a huge YouTube following and not be able to receive. And that's what a block in sales is, right? So it's very, very important to release those blocks. So we're going to call the angels in to help you, but there is going to be some deeper work required because very often things are given with strings. All right, I will give you your sweeties if you eat your fruit. You can have that car if you get an A in school. There we go, starting to clear. If you stay quiet during mommy's phone call, she'll feed you cookies, right? There's all these times that our parents bribed us and taught us that in order to receive, there was a condition, and that stuck us with conditional receiving. Santa's only coming if you're not on the naughty list, right? This is conditional receiving. So can we release that, please? Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to close this reading with a very simple but very controversial statement, right? I know that all the other therapists and healers are going, oh, it's all about you and focus on you and loving yourself. So I'm going to say something that's completely the opposite of that. It is not about you. It's not about you. Showing up is about someone else. It's about the people that you came here to serve. It's about learning to speak in a language that they understand, that makes them feel safe, that makes them feel loved. And it's very much divine mother or divine father energy, where you put your needs in God's hands whilst you focus on taking care of your people, right? But not anywhere in the Bible do you see Jesus asking anyone except his disciples or God about what he should do. And it's the same thing about being a leader and about being more visible. Is there comes a point where you have to trust your divine guidance and where you have to do what God tells you to do every day. And I've never seen a day where God doesn't tell you to serve and God doesn't tell you to show up and help people who are less fortunate than you, and you don't know who they are. You never assume that it's just people who are struggling financially or who are homeless, or you have no idea what other people are going through today. And their bank account or their family is not a reflection of their suffering. So you have to get out the way and let God tell you who to help, when to help, how much to help, right? But I promise you, if you focus your visibility, if you get out of your head and all the what are they going to think about me, and you start asking God, how can I help them? It'll flip it around instantly. Okay. Okay. Hi, Sky. Can I ask for a reading about my connection with the Creator? Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so there's three things that came up when I scanned you. The first is that you're afraid of what God's going to tell you to do. Like there's like a real fear that God's going to ask you to do these very difficult things, and that you're not going to be able to do them. And there's another fear that it will like take your life, and that comes from all the lifetimes where people had to go into monasteries or they had to go into temples, and they had to leave behind all their worldly possessions. So can we release both of those? And the last thing that God is showing me is that you're expecting it to be a loud voice. And the reality is, God's voice is the still small voice within, it's not the loud one, right? God's voice is the still peaceful voice within. Why? Because God will not violate your free will, right? So loud, booming, dominating voices tend to not just scare people, but intimidate them with emotional violence. So God's voice is a still small voice within, because you have to stop. You have to make an effort to listen, right? And then you have a decision to make about whether or not you're going to follow God's guidance or whether or not you're going to continue to move from a place of fear, right? But it's your choice. And God is very focused on that, on you having your free will respected. So you're not looking for this huge loud voice. You are looking for this still small voice. And that's why meditation is so important. That's why Course in Miracles is so important. That's why spending time with God every day is so important. Like, a lot of people get that you have to meditate with your angels, but most people just don't get that you have to meditate with Creator. And when they do meditations with Creator, right, they go up into this white light and they're like, oh, I'm in the white light. But they have no way of communicating because they're not, I don't know many people that sit there and talk to the light. You need an embodiment, right? And that can be as a specific person, that can be the man with the beard, but you need a being that personifies God for you, or personifies the voice of God for you. There we go. It can't just be a random light, sorry. It has to be God. It has to be God's light. Now, for me, Zeus-like god figures work very well. I like sitting at the feet of a giant Zeus figure, or sitting, curled up like in a Santa-type man's lap and telling him all my sorrows and sobbing my heart out. It works for me. You have to find something that works for you. But you need a personification of God, because it's such a huge concept that it's very hard for us to relate to as humans. There we go. Now, any power struggles that we have with God, can we start to dissolve those as well, please? The reason I always do what God says is because He knows best. Simple. Even when I don't like it, even when I don't want to, even when my ego disagrees 1,000%, right? Because I don't have the big picture in my mind and I don't understand what God is doing with that situation or with that person. But God knows exactly what He's doing, right? So very often it's very tempting when God gives us guidance to be like, I'm not ready. Or like, you guys know that when Anna asked me to teach theta healing, I said, I'm not ready. You know that when I was asked to go and do the trainings in Montana, I was like, I'm not going to find the money. There are many places where I freak out, but I still follow my divine guidance. Same thing with medical intuitive, same thing with running my own company. Every single time, my excuse was the same. I'm not ready. I'm not responsible enough. I'm not a good enough person. I don't have enough discipline. All of the excuses. I'm too wounded. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. All of it comes up every time that God asks me to do something that's outside my comfort zone. And every single time I say, I hear you. I know it's going to be hard, but I swear to God that it will be harder if you don't do what you're being asked to do. Because it's hard to follow your divine guidance, but it is even harder to stay stuck. It is even harder to stay in fear. But it is hard. I don't pretend that living my best life, living my divine life purpose is easy. I'm not here just for easy. I'm here to do the right thing. I'm here to do my divine guidance. Ease is a good thing, and it happens a lot as a result of my divine guidance. But I don't just practice love when it's easy. There we go. Starting to shift now. So that looks like a much stronger connection with Creator. Hi, Sky. Would you please tell me what I can do to strengthen my teeth enamel? Is there perhaps anything else that's blocking the healing occurring naturally? One of the most powerful things you can do to heal teeth enamel is to work on making decisions. So a lot of, when it comes to teeth, any kind of problems with teeth, it is normally that you are avoiding making important decisions in your life, right? Now, when it comes to enamel, you can use things like I forgotten the name of it, but it's when you put coconut oil in your mouth and you literally swish it through your teeth, kind of like you would if you were gargling water, but you do it with coconut oil. That's very good for repairing teeth enamel, obviously cutting out things like fizzy drinks, coffees, teas, high sugar type stuff. And I really get on well with hydrogen peroxide, 3% for clearing up gum disease or enamel issues. All issues are hydrogen peroxide works incredibly well because hydrogen peroxide is actually what your immune system makes, O3, when it's killing bacteria and adaptogens and things like that. But you have to look at where you are, because the enamel is like the protection, right, for your nerves. So what you want to look at is, where are you unable to protect your decisions? Where do you buckle the moment that somebody challenges your decision or they make it difficult for you? Where are you easy to manipulate, or where are you easy to intimidate that you give up on the decisions that you've made? And what do you have to change so that you actually have your own back when it comes to difficult life decisions? Okay. Okay, Rishu's saying, hi, so happy to catch you live. Would love to get a reading. What is it I need to know in regard to my health, both physical and mental? Okay, Archangel Raphael, what does she need to know? Or he need to know? Okay, I am immediately getting Archangel Ariel going, get outside, get outside, get outside. I think you're spending all your time inside. You're really avoiding the sunlight, and it's saying get outside, like particularly first thing in the morning, because it's really messing with your circadian rhythms and with your serotonin levels. You're not getting enough sunlight and you're not getting outside. So there's a real get away from the computer, get outside. I would suggest wearing blue light glasses like me if you're on the computer and you're teaching. It's really important so it doesn't mess with your circadian rhythm. And they're showing me that you're isolated. You're like really isolated. You need to be connecting more with other people. It's like at least once a week you need to be going out and having conversations and connecting with people, like physical people, getting hugs and physical touch, because it's like all the connection that you're getting is superficial. You need deeper connection. So if you go to a yoga class, unless you're going with your friend, etc., you're not going to get a cuddle. No one's going to really ask you how you are and wait for the response. So it's not just about going to something, it's about going places and actually building real connection or real friendships. And for that you have to go consistently, but that's what they're saying is mostly affecting your physical and mental health. But get out the house, please get out the house. Just being in nature for half an hour a day is going to make an insane amount of difference to you. Asma saying, hello Sky, could you ask my angel regarding my future version and how to achieve it and where to start to focus? So immediately I'm getting your guardian angel actually going, divine action, divine action, divine action, divine action. You are in the waiting game, and they're saying you have to stop waiting. You have to start actually, you have to start taking divine action. Like you have to, you are playing a waiting game. And they're showing me it comes from school trauma, where you're waiting for the teacher to give you the grade or waiting to graduate. And creators like saying to me loudly, you have graduated, it is time. You have to start taking divine action. You have to start taking divine action. So that's the biggest block to you achieving what you're focusing on. Hi Sky, could you please ask the angels, when will I meet my life partner and soulmate? Thank you. Okay, so immediately I got that you already know one. You already have a soulmate circling, but it's just not the kind of person that you think of as a soulmate. So sometimes your soulmate looks different than you think they're going to look. They are different than you think they're going to be. And it's our own stuff that stops us from seeing them as like dating potential or like relationship potential. So creator's showing me you already have a soulmate in your life. Now, if you want another one, it's really important to kind of energetically release any soulmates, right? Exes, etc., from your heart and from your body and from your auric field. So anyone that wants an energetic divorce from their soulmate. Can we do that now, please? Okay. Okay, after a shock, I feel like my connection to my psychic is much less powerful. I'm a theta healer too. I would love to release this block again. Okay, so can we just I'm going to make the command creator of all this commanded to release and complete all shock and trauma from all accidents for all those who want it across all levels, times, planes, and dimensions. Thank you. It's done. It's done. It's done. Show me. So breathe for me. So the reason that when we go into shock, we are less connected with our psychic senses is that what energetically happens when you go into shock is that you leave your body, right? You freeze, your body freezes and your spirit floats outside the body. That's why it's called a soul loss or a soul breach. So if you are disconnected from yourself, then of course you're disconnected from God. God communicates through your nervous system, through the light literally pulsing through your nerves and your chakras. So if you're not in your body, it becomes a lot harder to connect. You still can, but it becomes harder, right? So can we show you how to be embodied? Just pull your soul back into your body and reconnect it with your chakras, with your nervous system. Okay, that's looking super good. Okay, Kate saying, hi Sky, we're currently trying to get pregnant. Will it happen this month? And do you feel it's a boy or girl energy? I still have some nerves around becoming a mom again, but I am excited. Okay, I'm seeing Archangel Gabriel with you, and they are showing me that this is really about like whether or not it'll happen this month is actually deeply connected to how much sleep you get. So afternoon naps, evening naps, because there's a high chance it will happen this month. But you need to get more sleep. They're showing me that not getting enough sleep is messing with your melatonin levels. They're showing me you working after the kids are in bed. So instead, they want you to go to sleep. Sorry, they want you to go to sleep. They want you to go to sleep so that they can do what they need to do. A lot of conception, not just with like melatonin is one of the things they inject cows and sheep with when they're doing IVF to help them conceive faster. And they're saying if you want this month, you need to get at least 10 hours sleep and naps during the day because you are tired. You're still functioning on sleep deprivation. I'm actually getting girl energy very strongly, but let's see. Let's see. Hello, love. Yesterday I asked for a miracle, and with your help, I manifested one. I'm going home for Xmas. Moreover, the love started to flow through me again, and I restored connection with Creator. I will never forget what you did for me. Gave me good juju. I love the Christmas juju. I'm a good person to ask for Christmas miracles because I love Christmas. I absolutely love Christmas. The gifts, the family, the celebration, the pretty food, the pretty trees. I really love Christmas and I love Jesus. So what are you going to do? Hello, lovely Skylar. Can you tell me what my angels say about moving from my original country and what can be my first destination? Thank you. Okay, there's a very strong pull to America. There's a very strong pull to Australia. So either would work. that you need to live in an area like California or Colorado or like an area where there's a flow of people. There's a big part of why you're struggling where you are is small minds. So you need to get into big minds, like big energies. There we go. Okay. Sarmada saying, hi, how are you doing, Skylar? Am I on the right track about knowing myself and achieving my goals? What are the angels showing you, please? Okay, I'm getting told to pull a card again. It's twice today with the cards. Let's see what they have to say. Ooh, commitment. And you feel everybody watching cringe because they know they're avoiding committing. Okay, so what we tend to do is upside down. What we tend to do is say, I will commit to my company. I will commit to trading. I will commit to my side hustle. I will commit to my divine life purpose when I have some level of proof that I'm going to be successful and that I'm going to make some money from this, right? But your chances of being successful are directly proportional to the commitment that you show up with, right? And the level with which you give inside that space. So if your commitment, your capacity to commit is blocked, both in intimate relationships, right? And in financial relationships and to your purpose, then it will block your success. So can we release your fear of commitment? Everyone that wants that, say yes. Okay. Okay, we got it. Okay, one more question. Hi, Sky. I had mosquito bites in Asia and in the tropics, and after weeks, my knees are still swollen. I had flu-like symptoms without fever. Would you have any insights into this? Many thanks. Okay, so let's just ask Archangel Raphael for an instant healing. And we're just going to pull the fear of moving forward out of your knees. And now some viruses and parasites that have kind of snuck into your system because of this. So we're going to ask for an instant healing on those too. Now, this is where you like from a metaphysical perspective, being bitten or being literally having an animal that sucks the blood out of you. You want to look at where you letting people suck your energy or suck your time. Okay. So can we release that anywhere where you believe you have to let people suck the life out of you? Can we replace it with you get to defend yourself, you get to stand up for yourself and do what you need to do to move forward? It's a lot of resentment coming out too. So anybody that wants their resentment pulled out, it's like more mucky, black, icky stuff on the legs this time and in the heart and the solar plexus. And the belief that's coming up that's creating all this resentment is life is just too hard. People expect too much from me. There we go. So just release that, please, on all 7 levels, and replace it with, I know how to create a balanced life, which includes ease. I know when to work hard and I know when to rest. I know how to expect good things for myself. And I know the difference between expecting good things and having high standards and perfectionism. Okay. Let's do our closing prayer. Okay, just letting you guys know early bird is closing. Okay, early bird is closing for Medical Intuitive. So if you want to secure that price, then you need to pop over and pay your deposit today, okay? Or get yourself onto a payment plan because it's now December. I am fully booked with discovery calls. My friend who's agreed to help, who's only got 2 or 3 left. We are opening up some more. But please do not let that stop you, okay? Please don't let that stop you. But just so you know, today is like the last day for early bird. Get yourself in there to keep this particular price. I am so excited about this year's Medical Intuitive. I'm going to be making some more reels and some more videos explaining exactly what we're taking you through, exactly what we're going to be up to, because so many of you have been asking. But I notice that the number one fear that's coming up is that you don't feel like you're psychic enough or you don't feel like you're intuitive enough. And I want to reassure you that not only is that my zone of genius, I've been teaching it for more than 10 years, how to open up people's intuitive and psychic abilities and train them as professional psychics through theta healing, right? But it is also what the first 2 months of this training is geared towards. And every single module has a guided meditation, a guided energy clearing, a guided energy healing to open up you and to remove your blocks to becoming a medical intuitive. Right? So don't literally, I understand it's a normal worry, but I got you. Okay. If that's stopping you, if you think you're not good enough, if you think you're just not intuitive enough, that does not need to hold you back. I 100% got your back on that one. I'm very, very good at turning people who are psychic as a brick wall into very, very psychic, very, very psychic, very, very good therapists. Intuition is something you are born with. It had to be switched off, and I'm incredible at switching it back on. Okay, let's do our closing prayer. I will see you guys back here from 4 until 5 for our emotional eating challenge, and I can't wait. O Great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives and we thank you for these good, good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships with one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen, Namaste.